Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with his Wednesday expert, Matt the Mortgage Guy. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Mike. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome, man. This one rental at a time thing is taking off. Lots of people are taking action, doing deals. And if you've been a part of the community the last couple of years, you have a lot of equity because we've probably seen in most markets 30% appreciation. So I don't know about you, but I get lots of questions about, should I do a cash out refinance? Is it a good idea or a bad idea? And frankly, most of the time, that's the end of the question. I'm like, I think I need a little bit more information.
A little bit more. Yeah, that's like my question I get is, what are rates? And I was like, okay, there's 77 different variables, but
yeah,
where do we start? And the interesting thing, Mike, about the cash out refinance conversation is, obviously as a mortgage broker, I'm getting these questions every day. But when I look at the, I don't know, 5 to 7 YouTube videos I've made on the subject, because I've got 500 plus.
Mm-hmm.
I went into analytics last week and I'm like, holy cow, like 5-10 times the volume on those videos. People are searching for these terms, and looking at these videos means there's more and more consumer demand, whether that is demand that comes from advertising they're seeing, or whether that's demand coming from like friends and family talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about cash out refinance, I feel like what me and my team try to do is, you're going to call me, you're going to talk to me about your situation. I'm going to present you with options, and we're going to talk through whether or not it makes sense for you, because there's 7,000 different variables.
Yeah.
And I don't know if $2,200 a month is a comfortable payment for you. You know that. I don't know if, you're going to plan on being in this house for 6 more months or 60 more years. That's something that and I don't. And so, cash out refinance is an amazing tool. And I've seen absolute home runs being hit where somebody says, gosh, this consumer debt has been weighing on me. I've got a 3.75 on my first mortgage, but I only owe 180. This house is worth 550. And this $80,000 in debt, they've got like a $2,400 a month outflow paying, Citibank and Home Depot and all these others. Doing a cash out refinance, paying all that stuff off, getting clear with your budget and moving forward, it can be an absolute home run. But on the other side of the coin, like, it's not right for everybody.
Yeah.
And just because you have equity in your house doesn't mean you should pull it out.
Yeah, that's where I want to start. Just because you have the equity doesn't mean you should. A lot of people preach high leverage, which makes me way uncomfortable. And again, because I got 21 years doing this now, and I saw people get smoked last time. And a lot of it's because they kept treating their rentals, or primary, even worse, as ATMs. Don't do that. I don't ever give you permission. If you are going to do a cash out refi and go splurge it on stuff, I'm not your Huckleberry, right? That's not okay. But if you have a plan for it, if you're going to either, pay off $80,000 in 22% credit card debt, have a plan. And that's why I want here. Let me be very clear. If you're considering doing a cash out refinance, you're going to run into one of 2 kinds of mortgage brokers. Mortgage broker A is like Matt, the Mortgage Guy. He's going to ask you questions. And when you give him the answers, he may tell you, doesn't feel right. Or you're going to get mortgage broker B, who is going to slam you with all kinds of fees, treat you like the legacy used car salesman. And oh, by the way, folks, I believe the next 2 years is going to be really tough for mortgage brokers. A lot of them got bloated. A lot of them have high overhead costs, and they're going to try to get every loan possible. And frankly, one of the reasons I think your videos are up is because mortgage brokers are buying ads with those keywords. So YouTube is AI is, hey, they want to spend $50 for 1,000 views. Let's push this to the top.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah.
So,
and that's the thing too, is as the share of mortgage refinance decrease, because rates are going up, there's less benefit, right? For a lot of people, there's going to be folks out there that are pushing it hard. I mean, on the properties I own, get endless.
Oh, you have no idea how many calls I get.
And I take them, Mike, just because I want to hear what's being said.
I do not take them.
I mean, I've got investment properties, sub 3% rate, and I'll tell the person, no need for any cash. Well, what about this? I mean, they're trying to come up with with some sort of reason, and they're pure salesmen. They have no other intention but
Don't,
to sell.
yeah.
You know, here's one thing that I think is going to be, besides debt consolidation, where you pay off really high interest rate debt, what I'm also, I think, going to see where it might make sense for some people is, rather than sell your current home and buy something that costs 600,000, have a new really high tax bill, probably a higher interest rate because of the future. What some people might do is say, you know what, really, if our kitchen was nicer and we can add a bathroom, this could be our forever house. And then you might, you might pull out $80,000 in equity, do a couple projects, and you don't get taxed on the money you take out on a cash out refinance. Your property doesn't get reassessed because it's not a sale. There's no transfer of ownership. And so in that sense, I've done a lot of those where people say, you know what, like, the market was so crazy, I didn't want to go through trying to sell and buy. I'm going to take some of my equity and make my current house what I want it to be. That is another way where this equity can be utilized. Like you said, it's not a trip to Vegas, and it's not, going out and buying $60,000 worth of Dogecoin and that lottery ticket works out. That's not advised.
Not advised. Bad. Yeah. The other thing I want to say about doing a cash out refi as an investor is you can do them badly. Read my book, One Rental at a Time. My first cash out refi was stupid. I took as much as, I would probably, like a lot of you, right? The bank tells you how much do you want. I go, how much can you give? And I said, I want that amount. Well, lo and behold, I was writing, I created an alligator, and I was losing money every month until I sold it. It was a horrible feeling. I felt so stupid. Don't do that. And then lastly, you just brought up something is why I think real estate's going to slow down going forward. As rates go up, people are going to make their nest better. They're just not going to move because they don't want the price increase and the rate increase. So a lot of that stuff is coming. So in the end, a cash out refi can be great, but it also can be horrible.
Right.
It's what your plan is. So do yourself a favor, reach out to an agent or a broker like Matt, the mortgage guy, who's going to ask. If you reach out to a mortgage broker to do a cash out refi and they force paperwork down your hand day one, not a good guy. If they're not asking questions, they are out for themselves versus you. So Matt, the mortgage guy, and his team are going to ask you questions because it may not be the right answer.
Right. And here's some actionable advice, whether it's us or whether it's somebody else. This is what I think that the consumer should do so that they can kind of wrap their head around, does it make sense? If you reach out to our team and you say, here's what I owe, here's what it's worth, here's what I'm looking at doing. I don't know whether I need 40,000, 60,000, or 80,000. Let us prepare a quote, show you what that looks like, because you want to not only see, okay, I can get out 80,000, but what are the payments? And what do I know about my monthly budget, whether that's a comfortable payment, what that's going to look like if times are good, if times slow down, whatever the case may be. You want to analyze that stuff before you just say, oh, I've got 200,000 in equity and I know I can pull 80,000 of it out. I'll figure out something to do with that money. Just cash me out to the max. I mean, because truth be told, there's some people, Mike, that just literally go 80% is the maximum I go on my primary. Okay, whatever it appraises for, 600, we'll go to 80% LTV, and no care in the world. That could get you hurt. You don't want to do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah, greatmortgagebroker.com is a quick little questionnaire form that gets you in touch with us, and we'll be able to guide you in the right direction.
Yeah. Again, folks, greatmortgagebroker.com. Go there. If you're in our One Rental at a Time community watching this, get somebody that's going to ask you questions. And it's only going to get worse. Mortgage brokers are about to get super uber aggressive. So be careful. Watch yourself. Right. Go to someone like Matt, the mortgage guy, who's going to be on your side and help you out. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike.